Hi, a quick update on General Expanse Tension Theory. It's quite a good one. If any of you have ever studied electromagnetism, current, electrical flow, you might be familiar with Fleming's right-hand law, where it's the orthogonal emergence of motion, field and current from electromagnetism. You used to go into exams learning to put your hand in a particular, your 90 degrees of thumb, finger and middle finger to learn Fleming's right-hand law. Look it up. In General Expanse Tension Theory, I've had a bit of an epiphany. I believe that out of electroweak symmetry breaking, now what does that mean? That means Higgs licenses matter with the property mass. What is mass? Well, the definition of mass is matter which responds to gravitational dynamics. It responds to resistance to motion, inertial mass, mechanics, and also, as Einstein taught us, gives us temporal separation resistance, time dilation in the presence of mass. So there are three things that happen because of mass, because of Higgs licensing matter, this property called mass, because of electroweak symmetry breaking. So I make this proposal. I believe that gravity, inertia and time are the orthogonal emergent properties or projections from electroweak symmetry breaking. They exist independently of each other, but in the presence of electroweak symmetry breaking, Higgs license mass, they all emerge. Now, General Expanse Tension Theory overlays a density dependence to how they emerge and the property values of their emergence in that state. And what I've described in a paper, which I'll link to, is to show that all of the different environments and phenomena and anomalies that we experience, from dark energy, dark matter, our existence here on Earth, and black holes, the early universe, expansion period, neutron stars, they are all just a different configuration of the emergence of gravity, inertia and time. Now, these three axes give us the expansion resistance axis. So the expansion of the universe and is happening. We know the universe is trying to expand. Mass's resistance to that expansion gives us gravity. That's on this y-axis. Then we've got inertia, which is velocity resistance, the resistance to motion. So we have velocity resistance axis. If you try to move an object with mass, it requires energy, half mv squared. Now, why is it half mv squared? Why not a third mv squared? Why not 10 mv squared? It's a half mv squared here in Earth density, but it's a variable, it's environmentally density dependent. But nobody in the world has ever been able to explain why is the amount of inertial mass, energy, required to move an object half mv squared? Well, it's because you're moving an object through the Holland-Higgs field in General Expanse Tension Theory. That's the simple answer, simple as that. You then have temporal resistance axis, where this axis is about the resistance to temporal separation, the time between the ticking hands of a clock. That's then another major problem that we have to overcome. So this theory says and posits that these three properties emerge all out of electroweak symmetry breaking. Now, there's an implication for the term mass here. Mass is kind of degraded. It's just a catch-all term. It's a composite. Electroweak symmetry breaking, Higgs licensed mass, is simply that, the emergence of gravity, inertia and time. That's it. So the term mass actually in General Expanse Tension Theory is a catch-all composite term only. So it's an extension, but it has a really big implication, because In the absence of electroweak symmetry breaking, in the absence of the Higgs field licensing the property mass, we have no gravity, no inertia, no time. Now, where do I think that exists? I think that happens in the early universe, pre-electroweak symmetry breaking, which is the point of 10 to the minus 12 seconds. So I don't think you can talk about proper time before electroweak symmetry breaking in the early universe. Go and have a look at the epochs. In fact, I'll link to another video that talks about that explicitly. I think the next breakdown of electroweak symmetry breaking, to mirror what happens in the early universe, happens at the point of the event horizon. I believe the ultra high dense environment of compact objects going from neutron stars and pulsars, I believe the event horizon to trigger a black hole is the ultimate breakdown, the failure point of electroweak symmetry breaking, the failure of mass, and the de-emergence of these three properties. And I got a paper on it, and it explains I can calculate the Schwarzschild radius of a black hole, of where the event horizon forms, based on the de-emergence of these three properties because of the failure of electroweak symmetry breaking. How exciting is that? Thanks for listening. Please like, comment, share, tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying it. I'm just trying to solve the universe. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.